guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to start a new series here on my channel called Rodent Replies, where I answer your most frequently asked questions that I get here on my channel about rats or mice, and I pick a topic to talk about in an extra video. So for today's video I thought I'd answer the question of, do you need to neuter your rats? The answer to this isn't completely straightforward, but you don't need to neuter your rats for them to live happily in same-sex groups like other small animals such as rabbits. So you don't need to neuter your rats, but there are some circumstances where it may need to be considered. Neutering or spaying any small animal isn't something that should be taken lightly, as there is always the risk of anaesthesia, and it can also be quite costly. So I'm going to look at this question from the aspect of males and females. So starting with female rats, is it necessary to spay them? Female rats can be really prone to reproductive tumours and mammary tumours, as well as something called pyometra. Some rat owners, when they get females, will automatically make the decision to spay them because it does reduce the chances of them developing these types of tumours. But does this mean when you bring your female rats home that you should make the decision to put your rats through this kind of surgery? Well, it's really up to you when you bring them home whether you want to put them through something like that to prevent something that they are prone to but don't necessarily have yet. Personally, I'd only really spay a female if she was already under surgery for something such as removing a tumour that's related to her reproductive organs or a mammary tumour, just to reduce the chances of that in the future if she was already under anaesthesia and that wasn't an added risk. As I mentioned before, females are also prone to something that is called pyometra, and this is basically just an infection of the reproductive organs, and in this case spaying can actually be life-saving, so if your rat does have this infection and is bleeding, then spaying may be necessary in this case. So moving on to males, is it necessary to actually neuter them? Well, males don't actually have the same benefits as spaying females does. So neutering a male won't necessarily reduce their risks of developing things like tumours. However, there are some behavioural changes that can be quite beneficial when neutering rats, and sometimes you may need to neuter rats if they have some behavioural issues. Some male rats will just naturally have much higher hormone levels than other rats, and this can cause them to be really aggressive towards you or other rats in their cage. Sometimes this can make it really difficult and almost impossible to introduce them to other rats, or make it really difficult for them to live harmoniously with other rats they're already with. And sometimes people will make the mistake of just housing this rat alone because they're aggressive, without knowing that there are things you can actually do to decrease those hormone levels and make them less aggressive. Both male and female rats are of course highly social, so it is cruel to be housing them alone. Neutering male rats that are highly aggressive towards their cage mates can drastically decrease their hormone levels and their aggression levels and allow them to live with other rats like they're meant to. Neutering male rats can also reduce things such as urine marking, but I wouldn't decide to neuter them just for this reason alone. So I hope that answered your question. Neutering rats is not necessary, but there can be some circumstances where it's really beneficial and necessary for them to be neutered so they can live a happy and healthy life. I hope you're excited for this new series. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to address in the next Rodent Replies, please do leave them down in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them in a future video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to see more animal related videos from me, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye!